Welcome to my channel, Coin TISUAS HD. Today, we are looking at 4 fascinating US quarter dollar coins that every collector should know about. Our journey includes the 2007 P Utah quarter, featuring 1896 on the design, the 2007 D Washington quarter with a historic 1889 connection, the 2002 P Indiana quarter with 1816, and finally the 2000 D South Carolina quarter with 1788. Some of these coins are common, while others can become much more interesting in high mint state grades, rare varieties, and genuine mint errors. Could one of these quarters be hiding in your pocket change, coin jar, old collection, or bankroll? Stay with us until the end as we explore their history, mint marks, mintage, current values, rare errors, and collector secrets. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because you never know when an ordinary quarter could become an exciting collectible treasure. Let's get started. Top 4 first up. Today we are taking a close look at the 2007 P quarter dollar, a coin that may appear ordinary at first glance, but can become much more interesting when you examine its date, mint mark, condition, variety, and possible errors. The 2007 P quarter belongs to the famous 50-state quarters program, one of the most widely collected modern coin series in United States history. The important thing to understand is that there was not just one design for the 2007 P quarter. In 2007, the United States Mint released 5 different state quarter designs, representing Montana, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. All were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carry a small P mint mark. The 2007 P quarter was part of the historic 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999 and continued through 2008. Under this program, 5 states were honored every year in the order in which they entered the Union. The program was created to encourage public interest in coin collecting, and it was enormously successful. Millions of Americans began saving quarters from their pocket change, coin jars, bank rolls, and family collections. By 2007, the program was already one of the most successful circulating commemorative coin programs ever produced by the United States Mint. The 5 states represented in 2007 were Montana, the 41st state, Washington, the 42nd state, Idaho, the 43rd state, Wyoming, the 44th state, and Utah, the 45th state. Each state received its own reverse design, while the obverse continued to feature George Washington. The Philadelphia Mint produced the coins carrying the P mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced corresponding coins with a D mint mark. These quarters entered normal circulation, meaning that millions of examples were used every day in stores, vending machines, cash registers, and coin jars. The standard 2007 P state quarter is made from the modern circulating clad composition used for US quarters, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Overall, the coin contains approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel by weight. It weighs approximately 5.67 grams and measures approximately 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge. The P mint mark is one of the defining features of this coin. It means the quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint produced enormous quantities of the 2007 state quarters, and the P-marked coins were released into circulation throughout the United States. A quarter without a P or D mint mark is not automatically rare. Modern US. Philadelphia production figures were approximately 257.6 million Montana quarters, 265.2 million Washington quarters, 294.6 million Idaho quarters, 209 million Wyoming quarters, and 255.6 million Utah quarters. These numbers show why ordinary circulated 2007 P quarters remain plentiful. Among the 5, the Wyoming issue had the lowest Philadelphia production at approximately 209 million, while Idaho had the highest at approximately 294.6 million, but even the lowest figure is extremely large compared with genuinely scarce US coins. The value of a normal 2007 P quarter is heavily dependent on its state design, condition, and whether it has an unusual variety or error. In poor or heavily damaged condition, it normally has little or no premium over its face value, and its practical value is generally around 25 cents. In ordinary circulated condition, including good, very fine, and many fine examples, most pieces are still worth approximately 25 cents. Even an extremely fine coin usually does not command a major premium simply because it is from 2007. These are modern circulating coins, and collectors can find attractive examples relatively easily. This is the area where the 2007 P quarter can become genuinely exciting. Collectors search for double die varieties, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, struck-through errors, rotated dies, wrong planchet errors, and other genuine mint mistakes. Double die claims require special caution. Many apparent doubled letters, numbers, or design elements on modern quarters are actually machine doubling, die deterioration, strike effects, or post-mint damage, which usually carry little or no premium. The great attraction of the 2007 P quarter is that it is still a relatively modern circulating coin. That means collectors do not necessarily need access to an old coin shop or an expensive auction to find one. Before selling a 2007 P quarter, first determine exactly which state design you have. Then inspect the coin under good lighting with a magnifying glass or loupe. Check the date, P mint mark, lettering, Washington's portrait, the reverse design, rim, edge, and overall surfaces. The 2007 P quarter is not normally considered a major investment coin in ordinary circulated condition. Its enormous mintage means that supply is high, and millions of examples remain available. However, the investment picture changes for exceptional coins. High-grade certified examples can attract registry set collectors and state quarter specialists, while dramatic and authenticated mint errors can have much stronger demand because the supply is naturally limited. One of the most fascinating facts about the 2007 P quarter is that the year produced 5 completely different reverse designs because of the state quarters program. Next up, the 2007 D Washington quarter, a modern United States quarter that can still be found in circulation, coin rolls, old jars, collections, and inherited boxes. At first glance, this quarter may look like an ordinary 25-cent coin, but collectors know that condition, mint errors, varieties, and exceptional preservation can make an otherwise common modern coin much more interesting. One important point before we begin is that the date and design on this coin should be understood correctly. A genuine 2007 D Washington quarter is a coin dated 2007, while 1889 is not part of the normal date or design of the 2007 D quarter. If you are seeing 1889 on a coin you believe is a 2007 D Washington quarter, that may indicate a misidentification, altered coin, or another coin entirely. For this guide, we will focus on the genuine 2007 D Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. The original Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The Washington portrait remained on the quarter for decades, although the reverse design changed several times. In 1999, the United States Mint began the famous 50-state quarters program, replacing the traditional eagle reverse temporarily with individual state designs. 5 different states were honored every year from 1999 through 2008, making the program one of the most successful modern American coin collecting programs ever created. The obverse of the 2007 D Washington quarter features a right-facing portrait of George Washington. The design was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan, based in part on the famous bust of Washington by Jean Antin Houdon. The words Liberty and In God We Trust appear on the obverse, along with the date 2007. The D mint mark appears near the lower right area of the obverse, indicating production at the Denver Mint. The 2007 state quarters were produced in very large numbers. Depending on the particular state design, Denver production was generally in the hundreds of millions, making these coins plentiful compared with classic scarce or key date quarters. The exact mintage should therefore be identified by the specific 2007 D state design rather than treating every 2007 D quarter as one single issue. The value of a normal 2007D Washington State quarter is usually close to its face value when found in circulation. A heavily worn or damaged example is generally worth about 25 cents, and ordinary circulated pieces normally do not command a significant premium. Even attractive circulated coins are usually inexpensive because enormous numbers survived. This is where the 2007D quarter becomes especially interesting. Genuine mint errors can transform an ordinary-looking modern quarter into a collectible piece. Collectors should look for dramatic off-center strikes, major clipped planchets, broad strikes, missing clad layers, wrong planchet errors, significant die breaks, and other abnormalities that occurred during the minting process. A genuine error must have characteristics consistent with a mistake made at the mint, not damage that happened after the coin entered circulation. The exciting part about modern state quarters is that they are still accessible. Unlike many classic American rarities, you do not necessarily need to visit a major coin show to search for a 2007D quarter. You could encounter one in pocket change, bank rolls, old coin jars, family collections, estate sale boxes, or forgotten containers of state quarters, saved during the collecting craze of the 1990s and 2000s. As an investment, the normal 2007D quarter should be approached realistically. It was produced in enormous quantities, so there is little reason to expect an ordinary circulated example to become dramatically valuable simply because it gets older. Collectors should not buy large quantities of common modern quarters expecting guaranteed profits. One fascinating fact about the 2007 quarters is that they belong to one of the most widely collected modern American coin programs ever created. The State Quarters program introduced Americans to coin collecting on an enormous scale and encouraged people to inspect everyday change. Another interesting fact is that the Denver D and Philadelphia P issues can look almost identical except for the mint mark, yet collectors often organize their albums by both state and mint. Next up, the 2002 P Indiana State Quarter, a coin that is sometimes mistakenly described as the 2002 P India 1816 quarter. The correct name is the 2002 P Indiana State Quarter, and the 1816 on the reverse is the year Indiana became the 19th state of the United States. This quarter was part of the famous 50 State Quarters program, and although hundreds of millions were produced, collectors still search these coins because condition, varieties, and genuine mint errors can dramatically change their value. Most 2002 P Indiana quarters found in ordinary circulation are worth only their face value of 25 cents, but a beautifully preserved mint state specimen or a dramatic, authenticated mint error can be worth considerably more. That is what makes this coin interesting. The date and mint mark alone do not make it rare, but the details can turn an ordinary quarter into a collector's prize. Indiana was honored in 2002 as the 19th state, following Kentucky and preceding Mississippi in the release sequence. Indiana officially entered the Union on December 11, 1816, which is why the number 1816 appears prominently on the reverse. In 2002, the United States was already experiencing a huge collecting boom caused by the State Quarters program. Indiana's admission to the Union was an important moment in the expansion of the United States. The design features a race car, representing the Indianapolis 500 and Indiana's famous automobile racing tradition, moving through the center of a stylized outline of the state. Surrounding the design are 19 stars, representing Indiana's position as the 19th state admitted to the Union. The reverse also includes Indiana, 1816, 2002, and EPLUOBUSUNUM. The Indiana design was created by United States Mint sculptor-engraver Joseph F. Menner, based on the winning design concept submitted through the state selection process. The standard 2002 P Indiana quarter is made from copper-nickel clad composition. The P mint mark is especially important because it tells us where this particular quarter was made. The letter P indicates the Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 327.2 million 2002 P Indiana state quarters for circulation. This enormous production number is one of the most important facts to understand when discussing rarity. In poor or heavily worn condition, a normal 2002p Indiana quarter is generally worth about 25 cents, its face value. In ordinary circulated condition, including good, very fine, fine, and extremely fine examples, the value normally remains around face value because these coins are plentiful. An attractive circulated coin may have some collector interest if someone is building a state quarter collection, but there is usually no major premium. However, once you move into very high grades such as MS-67 and above, prices can increase significantly because high-grade modern coins are much more difficult to find. The exact price changes according to the grading company, population report, eye appeal, strike quality, and current market demand. A particularly exceptional certified example can potentially sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars, but collectors should always check current auction records before assigning a specific value. The highest grade market is where the 2002p Indiana quarter can become genuinely fascinating. Modern state quarters were made in huge quantities, but achieving an extremely high certified grade is not easy. Small marks from the minting, counting, bagging, transportation, and handling process can prevent a coin from receiving the very highest grade. When discussing auction records, it is important to separate normal coins from exceptional coins. A normal circulated 2002p Indiana quarter is not an auction rarity and is generally worth 25 cents. Errors and varieties are one of the best reasons to inspect a 2002p Indiana quarter carefully. Collectors look for genuine double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, rotated dies, struck-through errors, and wrong planchet errors. Double die varieties deserve special attention because they are often misunderstood online. A wrong planchet error would be far more unusual. This happens when a coin design is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or type of coin. Because a wrong planchet Indiana quarter could have an unusual weight, diameter, or edge, collectors should be especially cautious about measurements. The hidden treasure angle of the 2002p Indiana quarter is therefore more about finding the exceptional example than finding an ordinary rare date. Before selling your 2002p Indiana quarter, take a moment to inspect it properly. Use good natural or neutral lighting and, if possible, a small magnifying glass. Examine Washington's portrait, the date, the P mint mark, the reverse race car, the 19 stars, the lettering, and the edge. Cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces that may permanently reduce collector value. Original surfaces are much more desirable. Hold the coin by its edges, avoid touching the fields with your fingers, and store better examples in archival quality holders or reputable coin albums. For valuable pieces, use inert materials and avoid PVC-containing flips, which can cause long-term damage. Its large mintage means that normal circulated examples are unlikely to become extremely rare simply because time passes. However, the situation is different for exceptional high-grade coins and authenticated major errors. The 50 State Quarters program created one of the largest new generations of American coin collectors, and that broad collector base may continue to support demand for attractive examples. Next, up the 2000D South Carolina State Quarter, a coin marked with South Carolina and 1788, the year South Carolina became the 8th state to ratify the United States Constitution. This is a copper-nickel-clad Washington quarter from the first year of the 50 State Quarters program, and it was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions were produced, so the normal 2000D South Carolina quarter is not considered a rare coin. However, collectors continue to search these quarters because condition, exceptional mint state grades, proof versions, and genuine mint errors can make particular examples substantially more interesting and valuable than their face value. The important point for viewers is that simply seeing 2000D and 1788 does not make a quarter worth thousands of dollars. The real value depends on condition, variety, authentication, and whether the coin contains a genuine mint-made error. The story begins with the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. Authorized by federal legislation in the 1990s, the program released 5 different state designs each year from 1999 through 2008. The designs honored the states in the order in which they ratified the Constitution or joined the Union, with Delaware appearing first in 1999 and South Carolina appearing in 2000 as the 8th state design. This program became one of the most successful modern American coin collecting programs ever created. Families, children, casual collectors, and experienced numismatists began removing state quarters from everyday change and filling albums with examples from all 50 states. The South Carolina quarter was released in 2000, decades before today's collectors began looking back at the early state quarters as an important chapter in modern U.S. numismatics. The Denver Mint produced approximately 566,208,000 South Carolina state quarters for circulation in 2000. That is an enormous production figure, and it tells us something very important about rarity. The normal 2000D South Carolina quarter is common, not a traditional key date. There are many surviving examples because state quarters were heavily saved by the public. Nevertheless, large mintage does not mean every example is identical in value. For a normal circulated 2000D South Carolina quarter, the realistic value is usually around its face value of 25 cents. In worn poor, good, very fine, fine, and extremely fine conditions, there is generally little or no premium because hundreds of millions were made. Even a very attractive circulated example usually does not become a major rarity simply because it has sharp lettering or a nice design. The highest certified examples should always be checked against current PCGS, NGC, CAC, and major auction records before assigning a price. It is not responsible to claim that every 2000D South Carolina quarter is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. One particularly important warning concerns the so-called missing mint mark idea. The 2000D South Carolina quarter should have a Denver D mint mark. If you find a coin where the D appears faint, partially missing, or unusual, do not immediately assume you have a spectacular rarity. The hidden treasure potential of the 2000D South Carolina quarter is real, but it should be understood correctly. Because more than $500 million was struck at Denver, finding the ordinary coin is not difficult. You can still encounter them in circulation, bank rolls, old coin jars, family collections, albums, inherited boxes, estate sales, and miscellaneous accumulations. Before selling a 2000D South Carolina quarter, examine both sides under good lighting and use magnification if necessary. Check the date, the Denver mint mark, the condition of Washington's portrait, the lettering, the South Carolina reverse, and the biggest mistake a collector can make is cleaning the coin. Never use polish, acid, silver cleaner, toothpaste, baking soda, abrasive cloths, or household chemicals to make a quarter look brighter. Cleaning can leave scratches or unnatural surfaces and can permanently reduce collector value. As an investment, the normal 2000D South Carolina quarter should be viewed primarily as a collectible rather than a guaranteed financial investment. Its enormous mintage limits the long-term scarcity of ordinary circulated examples. However, high-grade certified coins and genuinely rare mint errors occupy a different market. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2000D South Carolina quarter 1788, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow coin hunters, and subscribe to Coin Treasure HD for more coin histories, rare errors, values, and hidden treasures.